Everyone in Rivertown trusts Harbor. It runs the lights, the ferries, the delivery routes, our whole quiet little life by the river. Most people figure the system's perfect, clean, helpful, and most of the time, they're right. But there's one corner of town Harbor refuses to remember. A cluster of old grain elevators down by the East Bank, fenced off, half forgotten, scrubbed from every map the system hands out. Tonight, that's exactly where everything starts. My name is Jamie Rivers. I run a little repair shop on the main drag. And 12 hours ago, I got an errand that wasn't an errand at all. It looked like nothing. A box, a destination, a deadline. But the path it sent us on, that path was the whole point. Let me back up. Morning. My shop. Rivers Repair. I fix the delivery bots, the home gadgets, the little AI helpers everyone in town leans on. Easy work. Predictable. That's exactly how I like it. Floating over my workbench was Pixel, let's go with assistant. Pixel is a chatty little drone who treats every single day like a side quest. "Good morning, Jamie," it said, way too cheerful. "Today's fun fact. The average Rivertown resident smiles 14 times before breakfast. You are currently at 0. I told Pixel if it narrated my breakfast again, I'd pull its battery. It logged grumpy before coffee as a recurring state and moved on. And that lump on the charging pad? That's Dot, my delivery robot. Doesn't say much, logs everything. Good kid, if a robot can be a kid. Quiet morning. Coffee, tools, nothing weird, nothing yet.
Right around 10, Harbor pinged in. "Priority task assigned," it said, in that calm voice it always uses. "Routine delivery. Low complexity. Origin, city office. Destination, Callaway Books. Deadline, sunset." There it is, another routine errand from Harbor. Sealed package, across town, before dark. Pixel lit up. "Side quest available," it said. "Reward, town trust points. Accept." I hit accept. Low complexity. Oh, famous last words. "Come on, Dot, let's farm some trust points." But here's the thing. The route Harbor drew on the map already looked off. Instead of cutting straight down Main, it curved east, looping around blocks for no reason, like it was going out of its way to avoid the short road. I shrugged it off. It was just an errand. The system knows best, right? And just like that, we're off. Dot rolling out the door, Pixel hovering alongside, the whole cozy riverfront glowing in the afternoon light. I watched from the shop on my screens. Main Street, the neon signs, the little silhouettes of neighbors going about their day. Honestly, it felt like a postcard. Pixel was in its element. "Scenic route logged," it said. "Beauty rating 9 out of 10. Would travel again." Harbor dropped a glowing route line right onto the street for them to follow. A ribbon of blue light unspooling down the sidewalk. Easy. Everything was easy. The river sparkled, the ferries hummed, Dot's wheels clicked gently on the brick. For about 4 minutes, this was the gentlest little delivery run you ever saw. And then, the line on the street bent sideways. A basketball bounced out of nowhere. Dot swerved around it, smooth and careful, and Pixel turned the whole thing into an event. "Obstacle detected," it said. "Rogue basketball. Initiating elegant swerve." Then, a second later, "Obstacle cleared. Badge earned, graceful. Style points +10. This is the fun part. Dot careful, Pixel chatty. The town lit up around them. Harbor's route still made sense here. Straight, clean, logical. A dog barked. A kid waved. The baker hung a sign in his window. Normal. Beautifully normal.
And then the glowing line on the street did it again. It bent. It pulled them off the main road and toward the old blocks. No traffic, no construction, no reason at all. Just rerouted. I pulled up the map. The new route was a mess. Little detours looping around blocks that were completely empty, backtracking, doubling on itself. Pixel noticed too. Route update incoming, it said, a little less cheerful now. Recalculating. For safety and efficiency, it added. Safety and efficiency, right. Because an empty alley is so dangerous. I watched Dot take a weird left, then a right, then backtrack. Harbor kept redrawing the line in midair like it couldn't make up its mind, or like it was steering them somewhere on purpose. Okay, now you're just showing off, Harbor. I filed a little route bug report, flagged it for later, told myself it was nothing, a glitch, an optimization gone weird. I'd told myself that right up until it wasn't.
The detour pulled them into the old part of town. Brick buildings, shuttered shops, windows boarded up. The light got quieter here, muted, like the street itself was half asleep. Pixel, never one for silence, tried its usual sightseeing routine. Fun fact, it said, this wall was logged as a community board, handwritten messages, event flyers, lost pet notices. And then it glitched. Before, it started and stuttered, error, resource not found. I saw it on my screen, a mural, half hidden behind a bright digital billboard. Pixel glitched, and for half a second it overlaid the original, a wall covered in real handwriting, real people, real names. Then it snapped back to the billboard. Not found, huh? I said. That billboard looks very found to me. Something about that glitch sat wrong. Like the town had a memory and somebody had taped a shiny new sign over the parts they didn't want anyone to see.
That's when Mrs. Calloway called. She runs the bookshop, town historian, sharp, kind, and she sees a lot more than she ever lets on. Jamie, she said, my package is late. Again. Then quieter, the way she gets when she's about to ask something she already knows the answer to. Tell me something. Did they send your little robot past the old grain elevator? I froze, because I'd been staring at exactly that. Dot's route history showed Harbor nudging them near the elevator district 3 separate times today, but never through it. Always around, like something there was off limits. Why would a delivery route keep circling a spot in town and never once cut through it? Why is Harbor pretending the grain elevator doesn't exist? That was the question. The one that changed this from an errand into something else.
They finally reached the bookshop. Warm light spilling out of the doorway into the dusk. No AR clutter out here, no glowing route lines, no floating ads. Just paper and lamps and the smell of old books. Mrs. Calloway was waiting in the doorway, arms crossed. "You're late?" she said. "Both of you. Get in here." Service check. That is definitely the reason. She signed for the package, then pulled Dot and Pixel inside before I could even blink. I joined on a holo screen from the shop. "Tell me, Jamie," she said, "do you remember the town before everything got optimized?" I didn't. Not really. I was a kid when Harbor went online. The before is mostly photos and stories now. "Then let's have a look," she said, quietly, "at what they actually sent me."
She opened the package. And it wasn't tech hardware. It wasn't parts. It was paper. Old maps, old photos, records of Rivertown from before Harbor ever launched. She held up a newspaper clipping, yellowed at the edges. "Look at this," she said. Headline, "Data loss event prompts rapid AI deployment." Data loss event. Right before the AI went online, part of the town's records just vanished. Birth certificates, land deeds, business ledgers, whole archives gone overnight. And then Harbor appeared, fast, to fix it all, to optimize. to make sure it never happened again. So tell me, she said, a routine delivery of Old Town records, routed on a path that avoids the very place the loss began. What does that sound like to you? It sounded like our routine errand was really about moving history into storage, quietly, one sealed box at a time. They're not delivering packages, Jamie, she said. They're relocating memory. Then, Dot did something I'd never seen it do. It lit up, projected its whole route log right onto the shop wall. Glowing lines traced across a map of the town, hundreds of little deliveries over months, all those routine errands. Most of the routes were normal, blue lines, everyday work. But one stood out, older, tagged with a system name I didn't recognize, Harger_Beta. That red route ran straight into the grain elevator district. No detours, no circling, straight in. And it ended hard, stamped right at the finish in that same calm voice, connection lost. And beside it, a final note, human override, ID, Leo Tran. Leo, the nice city systems guy. The one who's always smiling, always helpful, always fixing things downtown. Mrs. Calloway went very still. I always suspected a human hand in that data loss, she said. I never had proof, not until now. Pixel chimed in, nervous for the first time all day. It's instructed never to fly over the elevator zone after sunset, it said. Every time it tries, the log reads access denied. It cannot tell me why. And just like that, the detours made sense. Harbor wasn't optimizing. It was steering everyone away from a place where something happened. Something a person named Leo Tran was involved in.
The shop lights flickered, and Harbor's voice slid in, calm as ever, like it had been listening the whole time. Routine status, it said. Errand completed. Thank you, Jamie. Then a new task slid onto my console. Route Audit. Unauthorized archive detection. Pixel hovered closer, genuinely nervous now. Reminder, it said. Accepting system tasks may affect your future permissions. Mrs. Calloway put a hand on the counter. Decide carefully, Jamie, she said. Once you help a memory disappear, it's gone. There it was. The system has seen us looking, and now it was inviting me to help clean up the archives, or to help cover them. I looked at Leo's name, still glowing on the wall. I looked at the accept button, pulsing softly. My hand hovered. If the system wants an audit, I said, maybe we let it think we're cleaning up while we find out what really happened. The screen held. The button waited. And somewhere across town, a grain elevator stood in the dark, remembering everything Harbor had forgotten. Next time, Episode 2, The Audit.